Steve Gamache here with a Chef Knives to Go quick look overview of the Shun Classic series of knives. I wanted to make a few points and talk about some features of these so I could do them once without having to repeat them throughout each individual product video. So it's not too often I get a chance to look at a lot of knives from the same maker and also the same line of knives. So this is not all that I have to review, but it's what fits nicely on the board for the purposes of the video. But Shun has done a nice job, in my opinion, of kind of what I would call Asian meets German or Western styling. And so they've taken cues from Japanese styling. One good example is the handles. The handles on these are a D-style handle and kind of a wash shape. So they've got a wash shape, but they've also got a bolster on them. So they've kind of got a Western weight to them, but a Japanese feel to them. And I have no problems as a lefty holding these handles at all. Mark does carry, and they do make some of these in left-hand versions where the handle D is reversed for a lefty bias. He only has, I think, like 3 models of these available. So in my opinion, though, I've even handed D-shaped handles to people who are lefties that don't know anything about them, and a lot of them actually say, oh, I have a shelf for my thumb, and they think it's kind of nice and easy to hold as a lefty. So I wouldn't let that deter you. If you pinch grip and you have your thumb up here, you don't really have your hand on that much of the knife handle anyway. And I tried out a number of these knives, not for a real super long extended period of time, but enough to get a feel that the handle really was no big deal at all. So if you've got a mixed household of lefties and righties, I wouldn't be too concerned about it at all. You can adapt pretty quickly. The other cue on these knives, they've got the thin, lighter blades with the harder VG10 steel. They've got a nice multi-layered Damascus coating on them. They're kind of a mirrored finish blade. Real great fit and finish. Every knife I've seen in this line has been consistently super high quality fit and finish. The edge bevels on them are cut extremely consistently at a really nicely level done of refinement. And the only thing I've seen on the edges, they could use a little tooth out of the box. So I've taken a number of these knives, and while they were sharp, I thought they needed a little tooth to them. And all I did, and it really worked great, was just take my Idaho fine ceramic honing rod and just run a few passes on each side to put a little tooth on the edge, and then I ran it over a horse butt strop, and it really brought the edge to life and gave me a little tooth on it. And it was super easy. It took like 2 minutes to do, if that, maybe a minute. It didn't take long at all. So these knives, the edges are just about ready to roll right out of the box, in my opinion. Very, very consistent. So that's an impressive feature on all these, is the quality, the consistency. The kind of the classic part of these that meets German or Western is the profile on the chef knives from Shun. And you can see they've got a fairly significant amount of belly in the front half or third of the blade, depending on the particular blade. So you've got somewhat of a flat spot, but quite a significant arc or belly to them, and which is oriented very heavily towards rock chopping and glide cutting with a rocking motion. And that's their instruction sheet even talks about using a locomotive style motion when you're cutting. I can't duplicate here without being on a board, but using that style versus the chopping style. The bringing that up, they actually have a real nice pamphlet or little instruction sheet that comes with each knife, and they give some instruction on use, care, types of cutting boards to use, and storage to try to keep the knife in good shape. And these are good common sense things that should apply really to everyone, but not too many people typically follow them, at least hopefully until they get into these knives and have something nicer. But good instruction sheet as well. They all come with a lifetime warranty on workmanship and materials. And I was just, like I said, quite impressed with the styling, the fit and finish. They're pretty thin behind the edge. Actually, a lot of them are quite thin behind the edge, and a lot of them performed beyond what my expectations were. So I was really quite impressed with the line of knives, and they've got a lot of variety here as well. So just a few things I wanted to point out about them that will carry over into each individual video. So there you have the Shun Classic series.